Steve Adubato here, everything you ever want to know about education, teaching, educators. We have Sean Spiller, president of the New Jersey Education Association, and Steve Swetsky, executive director of the NJEA. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Good to be on. Good to see you as well.
Good to be here.
I want to disclose that Sean is also the mayor of my hometown, beautiful Montclair, New Jersey. Hey, listen, gentlemen, we're doing the show at the end of September, being seen a little later. Sean, let me ask you, as an educator as well, no way to predict how this school season will go, the school year will go. What do you say where we are as to where we are right now, and what are the greatest challenges moving forward?
I think we're in a good position right now. You know, kudos certainly to the governor, but also everyone involved with education for getting us to where we are now. It's been ups and downs. It's been twists and turns, which I think we all know we've got to be able to adapt with the changes around the virus and what's going on in the pandemic. But by instituting things like a mask mandate with the vaccinating or testing policy that's in place, I think we've tried to be as safe as possible to get us back to in-person instruction. I think it's a good place to be. We're all going to be watching to see what happens in the next few weeks, all already going to be ready to be able to pivot as needed, if needed. But I think for starters right now, in the position that we're in, probably as good as it could be while we're still in this pandemic, and hopefully it continues.
Steve, let me ask you, describe the NJEA for those who do not know. A, how many members?
NJEA is roughly 200,000 members working in schools across the state in 600 plus school districts. We have about 900 different affiliate organizations. And that's, we're comprised of teachers, ESP members, bus drivers, secretaries, cafeteria workers, so everyone who works in public education.
By the way, the NJEA is not just a supporter of public broadcasting, but the Caucus Educational Corporation as well, to disclose that. Steve, let me ask you, do you have a really good sense as to, when we're taping on the 28th of September, how many educators are vaccinated as we speak? Because there's a requirement to be vaccinated, but there's also the option of being tested on a regular basis. Please, Steve.
Yeah, so we don't have the exact data for New Jersey, but NEA has done some polling.
The National Education Association.
Yes, correct. And we're probably in the 90% range for members being vaccinated. And so our members have been vaccinated at certainly a higher rate than the general public.
Let me follow up on that. Sean, our daughter in the public schools here in Montclair, we talk every day to her about her experiences so far, what's gone well, what's been more challenging. As an educator, what would you say for educators, as well as for students, the greatest challenges in those classrooms are right now? Our daughter brings a plastic shield. She has her mask. Challenging enough, but safety first. Please, Sean.
Yeah, I think that's still the focus. You know, it's about safety, right? First and foremost, we've got to make sure kids are safe, staff are safe. And I think when you talk about the challenges, it's coming back, but it's coming back to that uncertainty. You know, we talk often, and rightfully so, about the social and emotional well-being of our students, but it also applies to educators. You know, people have been stressed. People are wondering, you know, is this safe? What's it going to be like? But there's a desire to connect with kids, and that's the joy of it. So I think everybody's trying to navigate that space. What does a classroom look like? You know, how do the interactions happen? How do you make sure that you're able to connect still with some of these barriers, literally and figuratively, that are in place to help keep us safe? You know, so I think a lot of that is going on. There's that feeling out process both ways. But I think the hope is that as things keep moving and people get comfortable with these things, it gets easier. And also, you know, hopefully as the pandemic dictates, but more importantly, as we get more and more people vaccinated and people doing hopefully what they should, we get to a place where we can start to ease some of those restrictions as appropriate.
And again, changing landscape every day, new information. Steve, you and I actually talked offline the other day. The convention is coming up, the annual NJEA Convention. We don't know what it's going to look like, how much is in person, how much is remote. We've done a lot of broadcasting from there. It's been great talking to individual educators from across the state. Steve, let me ask you this. From your perspective, the theme at the convention has always focused around racial and social justice issues. Regardless of the pandemic, that will not change, correct? Talk about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, that's a focus of the organization, and it is and should be a focus of our public education system. You know, there are inequities throughout public education throughout New Jersey. You know, once again, New Jersey was just recognized as the top-ranked public school system in the country, and we're proud of that, and we're proud of the part that our members play in that. But we also look around and we see great inequities throughout New Jersey, throughout the country, but in New Jersey that, you know, really provides opportunities and provides places for our members to engage with each other and with their communities around those issues. And so, yes, the convention will continue to be a place where we engage with those issues, where we bring, a place for people to come together, talk about, and move to action.
And the great leaders who come from across the nation as well, whether remotely or in person. And I'm not going to give anything away because you're still working that out, Steve. Hey, Sean, in light of the conversation that I just had with Steve regarding racial and social justice, you're the first African-American man to be president of the NJEA. A, what does that mean to you and the organization? And B, continue the conversation about racial and social justice, please.
Yeah, I think it means a few different things. There are moments when you look at it, and I guess maybe it's a half full, half empty, type mindset. But you look at it and say, wow, here we are, how many years later, and this is only the second African American ever and first African American male to be president of the organization, and first time ever in our history we've got two officers of color, serving at the same time. It's you're thankful and happy that we're here, but also a little bit maybe surprised, but also the challenges of how long it took to get here. But I think also, and I'll give full credit to our previous president, Marie Bliston, for really leaning in and engaging in the work of racial social justice, because I can tell you that having a white ally really leading the charge in some of these things was really important. I think it was really important for our 200,000 members to see that this isn't just, oh, look, here's our African-American president moving forward around these issues. This is an organizational commitment. And certainly now I'm pleased to be able to move that and bring that even more forward in terms of the work we do. And when we talk about being a justice-centered union, and sometimes we hear the criticism, it takes us into places where we're fighting for our communities and the communities our students live in and that we live in. When we say we've got to have employment opportunities, we've got to have appropriate health care, we've got to have the challenges that are facing our students that are barriers to them learning. And we've got to be in those spaces as well, trying to create that equity and to create that justice so that our students have the best possible opportunities at success. So we're going to be there. We're going to be leaning into that work. And that's something we're committed to.
Sean talks about this. People again, we've done a lot of work on learning loss and the academics of this. But Sean talks about the larger context in which education takes place in people's lives, childcare issues, a whole range of complex issues. But Steve, I want to ask you about this in terms of mental health. Social emotional learning, forget about just learning, just development, the well-being of our children. How are teachers dealing with that, in addition to the fact that they have their own issues to be dealing with? Steve Swetsky, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good question and a very difficult issue. A lot of credit goes out to our members and educators everywhere for how they have stepped up to deal with not only their own issues at home, but always with the focus on the children that they teach. I had the opportunity yesterday. My grandson's pre-K program is closed because of COVID, so they're working from home. And my daughter-in-law sent a video, and I watched him, do 2 minutes with his teacher. It was amazing, and the caring and the voice that came off of that iPad. And I just watched Charlie. He was captivated, right? Because that was the person that he's already connected with a week and a half into the school year, right? He's 3.5 years old. And so, regardless of whether we're in buildings or whether we're doing it remotely, that's the care and the passion around the work that educators have always had. And it's been amazing.
Hey, final word here, Sean, and follow up on what Steve just said. The connection between students and teachers, while it's been affected and there have been barriers, et cetera, in person, remote, shields, masks, all of it. For you personally, as a longtime educator, what's that connection like? 30 seconds, please.
It's the best. It's the best. It's why we do what we do. I know Steve and I had a chance to visit a lot of schools starting this school year, and you just see that. It is. We're excited. We're excited to be with our kids. It's why you do this work. It brings a smile to your face every day, and it's an opportunity to see them learn and grow. And it's the impact you're having, but it's rewarding. It certainly is.
By the way, Sean, real quick, you've been an educator for more than a couple of years, right?
Yeah, time goes by really quick. 20 something years, so it goes really quick. Yeah.
And teaching what subject?
Anatomy and physiology, biology, as well as some other life sciences. But that's been my focus. Just want to clarify that. Hey, Steve and Sean, thank you so much for watching. Thank everyone for watching. Thank them for sharing with us. And Steve will follow up and see what happens with the convention. We look forward, whether it's remote or in person. We're going to be ready to talk to the great educators every day who help our children in so many ways, not just teach them, but support them. Sean, Steve, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Adubato. Thank you. I'll get this right. It's only been 30 years for watching. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities Clean Energy Program, Valley Bank, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Summit Health, the Northward Center, and by the Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by Jaffe Communications and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association.
What is your child's dream for the future? Doctor? Teacher? Architect? Whatever they aspire to be, a college education may realize those dreams. And NJ Best can help. It's the college savings plan specifically designed for New Jersey families. Start saving today with as little as $25, because now is the time to invest in their future. To learn about NJ Best 529 College Savings Plan, its investment objectives, risks, and costs, read the Investor Handbook available at njbest.com.